it would absolutely be a sight to behold. The colorful costumes.
And they're holding conches in their hands. So these are the artists who will perform the Shankanad, which is like a clarion call to invoke the gods and to thank the guest for arriving here on our land.
And the umbrellas that you see, that dance group will form part of
The warm, the handshake, the hearty hug, which has now become a symbol of their friendship. Greetings all around.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi introducing the American President Donald Trump to the Chief Minister of Gujarat and countries. This is the first visit to India by President Donald Trump.
That was a quick greeting with Ivanka Trump and Jared Trump, the daughter and son-in-law of President Trump. A tri-services guard. Honoring the arrival of the President and the First Lady. And the traditional welcome of Gujarat, the folk dances that are so colorful, so warm and so welcoming.
The blowing of the conch shells is considered auspicious, pious, and the sound there positively energizes the environment through the vibrations.
There is such a festive air here. It is as if all of India has come alive to welcome her guests. And this sort of a greeting, this sort of a reception can only be given in India.
And after being greeted here at the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport, the American President, the First Lady, will now proceed towards Sabarmati Ashram. But what will await them on the route, Jasleen, is also going to be fantastic. The cultural extravaganza, music, dance, arts, crafts await the arrival of the dignitaries on the route as the culture of 28 states of the country will be showcased.
So on this short route, President Trump and the First Lady will experience the sights, the sounds, the colors, the culture of all of India on this short journey. The utter joy of the dancers is infectious as they perform the umbrella dance. And the presidential beast, the armored vehicle, will move away from the airport in just a few moments from now.
The tribal dance of Gujarat is a special attraction. Conservation and preservation of the rich culture is so very necessary. The sheer diversity is spectacular. In the background, what you also saw was a glimpse of Goff dance, which is known as ribbon dance, where the dancers will hold on to a cord and they will make an intricate braid at the end of first set of movements where it all gets mixed up. But then in the next set of movements, when the dancers move, the braid gets unrevealed and all the cords are loose and single once again. Completely majestic.
We see the presidential cavalcade moving out of the airport, as also the cavalcade of the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi. This is indeed a riot of color, as artists of all ages, young and old, men and women, dance in gay abandon. And these are 7 or 9 pots that they balance on their heads, which is quite a feat.
These are age-old traditions, offering a story to be told, a narrative that will help us chronicle the history better for a greater future. This is the soft power of India. The dhols, the costumes, the colors, the rhythm, the clash, the dandiya, the garba, the ribbon dance in the background.
In India, we have a dance for every occasion, and ours is a country of festivals. So there is a festival every few days in India to celebrate the seasons, to celebrate the change of seasons, to celebrate the advent of the new season, because they are all connected with nature, and as nature changes slowly through the year, so do our folk dances, and we celebrate nature in all its glory. The President's limousine, the Beast, now slowly moving out of the airport.
That's the Goff dance, also known as ribbon dance. Very pleasant weather welcomes the guest.
President Trump has come to India on a whirlwind tour of 36 hours, and India has decided to make every moment count, because there are different kinds of activities that have been planned out for him. After Ahmedabad, he will be visiting Agra, where he and his wife will see the Taj, the symbol of love, at sunset. And of course, tomorrow there will be a formal reception at Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Intricate dance movements and then simplifying it. Joy in the air.
This visit of the American President to India will go a long way in strengthening our geostrategic ties. There will be many things which will be discussed on various subjects of mutual interest. And ours are complementary economies. So the road for the future will definitely be laid during this visit. Greetings with bells. Bells are sacred in India. And of course, waves and cheers.
So the entire cavalcade now moves out of the airport towards the city.
is now moving from the heart of the city, touching some of the important destinations. This is the airport circle now, where the cavalcade is moving towards Sabarmati Ashram. This roadshow is a perfect example of Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. It talks about India is a unique nation whose fabric has been woven by diverse linguistic, cultural and religious threads held together into a composite national identity by a rich history of cultural evolution coupled with a rousing freedom struggle that was built around the tenets of non-violence and justice. And as you can see, peoples have actually gathered on both the sides of the road and greeted the leaders, the two leaders. And as you can see on your screens here, in this roadshow, more than 28 stages have been set up at various locations. And the artist dressed in traditional attire, as you can see, presenting folk dances, music and yoga poses. Whether it is east or west, north or south, and from many states of India, the talented artists have come here to showcase their talent and make the world aware of the arts. And this is a perfect platform when all the eyes are set on them. This is the soft power of India. The cavalcade has now reached to the cantonment area. You can see people try to capture the movement in their mobile phones. Here we can see the history unfolds. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has personally and quite warmly hosted world leaders in Ahmedabad, and especially at the Sabarmati riverfront where this cavalcade is now turning. At the Sabarmati riverfront also we can see are performing on the banks of the river of Sabarmati. So I was telling, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has personally quite warmly hosted world leaders in Ahmedabad, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The roadshow has reached to the Sabarmati riverfront. In the cities like this, prominent leaders like Japan and Israel, Prime Ministers also visited the riverfront and got surprised to see it. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the visit of foreign dignitaries was not just confined to national capital Delhi, but was taken to other states of India. So therefore, we saw Portugal President visiting Mumbai for Indian-Portugal Business Forum, China's President Xi Jinping visiting Mahabalipuram, Tamil Nadu, French President Emmanuel Macron and Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visiting Varanasi and Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, and now we can see US President visiting Ahmedabad, Agra and Delhi. The carcade is now moving on the Subhash Bridge, and from here the Gandhi Ashram is just a couple of kilometers away. On both the sides of road we can see big hoardings and posters being displayed of both the leaders here.
connect with people. Martin Luther King was inspired by Gandhiji's philosophy of truth and non-violence as powerful tools during the civil rights movement in America. He said, when I go to other countries, I go as a tourist, but when I come to India, I come as a pilgrim. And this is the entrance to the Sabarmati Ashram. It has been preserved as it was during Gandhiji's time. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji will receive President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump. A traditional welcome with a khadi angavastra or a stole. The significance being explained here to the President and the First Lady. And this is Hriday Kunj. This is where Mahatma Gandhi stayed during his 13-odd years here at Sabarmati. His presence is still palpable here. There is a deep sense of peace that permeates the air. His words still vibrate in the stillness here. The President will experience the essence of spiritual India as he enters this hallowed space.
President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi garlanding the photo of Mahatma Gandhi ji there, and we do see a prayer written downstairs. The prayer was written by Mahatma Gandhi in English, and it was titled Lord of Humility, where he expressed, let us be embodiments of self-sacrifice, embodiments of godliness, humility personified, that we may know the land better and love it more. This is the meeting place where Gandhiji used to meet a lot of people.
Interestingly, although Gandhiji lived here for 13 years, he didn't have a room to himself. He spent most of his time in this veranda, spinning the charkha, or the spinning wheel, as we can see in the visuals. And that little room on the left was his study, where he wrote letters every day to people all across India who were connected with the freedom movement, and people from all across the world who wrote to him. This is also where he met the leaders of the freedom movement and international guests. This is where various decisions regarding India's freedom struggle were taken.
It was while living here that Mohandas Gandhi came to be known as Mahatma Gandhi. And this is the symbol of self-reliance, the spinning wheel, charkha.
The charkha was Gandhiji's great tool for empowerment and dignity of labor. President Trump and the First Lady giving it a try. It also has great spiritual significance. Gandhiji used to say 1 hour spent in spinning would be equivalent to an hour in self-development for the spinner. It's very meditative when you spin the charkha. In the meanwhile, Motera Stadium is abuzz with excitement. Lata Ben explaining how the yarn is spun. Most people trying the charkha for the first time can be a little unnerving, but once you get used to it, you understand what Gandhiji meant when he called it the physical embodiment of his constructive program as a representation of Swadeshi, self-sufficiency, and at the same time, interdependence. Because the wheel is at the center of a network of cotton growers, carders, weavers, distributors, and users. It also embodied the dignity of labor, equality, unity, as all volunteers were to spin each day, and finally independence was achieved. In fact, it has been called the livery of our freedom. That is what Khadi signifies for us. A few moments of introspection, trying to absorb the essence of Mahatma Gandhi, his teachings, and his philosophy. It's hard to imagine, but this is exactly how the Mahatma would have sat here with his international visitors. He too had a great sense of humor.
Interestingly, Gandhiji could write from both his hands. And sitting here in the veranda, he would meet a lot of world leaders and other guests, as we now see the special visitor today, the American President, Donald Trump, now penning his thoughts in the visitor's book. Foremost in the movements launched by Gandhiji from this very place, the Sabarmati Ashram, was the 385-kilometer salt march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi on the south Gujarat coast. Interestingly, Gandhi Smarak Sangrahalaya, Sabarmati, is open on all days of the year, from 8:30 in the morning till 6:30 in the evening. Daily about 2,000 to 3,000 footfalls, and on a holiday, Sunday, weekend, that increases to about 5,000 footfalls.
Mahatma Gandhi believed in an openness. He used to say, I do not want my house to be walled on all sides and my windows to be stuffed. I want the cultures of all lands to be blown about my house as freely as possible. but I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. This perhaps is the openness that you talked about. The people of all cultures, all traditions came here. The three monkeys of Mahatma Gandhi: speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. These were originally given to Mahatma Gandhi by a Japanese monk, and they became an essential part of his philosophy.
And those philosophies, Jasleen, are still very relevant and encourage each one of us to ensure that we imbibe the core values of humanity, truth, non-violence, love, compassion, service, sacrifice, forbearance, and equality. The Sangrahalaya, the museum, consists of a gallery that is titled "My Life is My Message." And it consists of paintings, photo enlargements of some of the vivid events of Gandhiji's life, his quotations, letters, other relics. There's a library too. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi encourages one and all, especially the youth, to understand Gandhiji, his philosophy, connect with history. There's the archives that ensures collection, preservation, and display of Gandhiji's writings, photography, voice records, films, personal belongings. As we now see President Donald Trump interacting with the members of the Gandhi Smarak Sangrahalaya, Sabarmati.
So these were few moments of reflection, of going inwards before moving onwards towards the next leg. Mahatma Gandhi said that to find oneself, one has to lose oneself in the service of others. And this is a pilgrimage where one can find this philosophy and through it find oneself.
And now from the Sabarmati Ashram, the cavalcade will move to the new Motera Stadium. And for today, perhaps Motera is all set to transform into the loudest stadium in the world.
That is quite true. We've been hearing loud cheers emanating from the stadium. The President's daughter, Ivanka Trump. Gandhiji believed in the concept of living in a commune with just the bare necessities, because he said that nature gives you enough for your needs, though not enough for your greed. And this was the ideal living conditions that Gandhiji talked about. The residents here would work for 8 hours a day, and in the morning and evening spend time in meditation and prayer, and prayers from all faiths were recited here.
In fact, members of the ashram began their day by gathering to pray, and in the evening they returned to pray again and take stock of the day's activities. The entire environment, the trees, the calmness, the positive vibrations, the energy makes you feel very relaxed.
And also, it sends a shiver down one's spine to think that this is exactly where Mahatma Gandhi lived. To breathe the same air that he once breathed is really special for the visitor.
So whether it's the stillness one can experience at Sabarmati Ashram, or the loudest cheer that awaits at the Motera, it's an array of emotions that engulfs the life of a human being.
Come to think of it, that is the essence of India, isn't it? We are the loudest and the most joyful when we celebrate our festivals with great color and a lot of music and dancing. And yet, when it comes to moments of reflection, we turn inwards. This is a part of life for most Indians. Despite the compulsions of modern day living,
the three monkeys.
The three monkeys embody the very essence of Gandhiji's philosophy of seeing no evil, speaking no evil, and hearing no evil. So when you look for the good in others, you only see the good in others, which gets reflected in your own being. Because Gandhiji said we really are mirrors of each other. Mahatma Gandhi also said that an eye for an eye would eventually turn the world blind. So he talked about compassion, forgiveness, friendship, and understanding with each other. To my great friend, Prime Minister Modi, thank you for this wonderful visit. It has been signed by President Donald Trump.
Also, the First Lady, Melania Trump, has signed there.
Exactly. People do usually come here and pen their thoughts in the visitor's book. And this will be a wonderful visit for the President and his entourage. The Prime Minister's carcade moving down the avenues of Ahmedabad, lined with thousands of people who are here to cheer the Prime Minister and his dear friend, the President of America. The cavalcade is now moving towards the Motera Stadium, the Sardar Vallabhbhai International Cricket Stadium, which has been newly refurbished. And there are close to 1.5 lakh people who are waiting there to cheer the two great personalities who are the stars of the event. The presidential cavalcade now departing from Sabarmati Ashram. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy is still relevant today, and this can be seen by the fact that almost 2,000 people visit here daily, and more than 5,000 people come to Sabarmati Ashram on weekends, waving and cheering the president along. The people of Ahmedabad, people of Gujarat are so happy to see him.
And the next destination is Motera Stadium. As we can see, the cavalcade is now moving from Sabarmati Ashram. The message of peace and harmony given by Mahatma Gandhiji is still very relevant in contemporary era. The head of states and the head of governments had visited Gujarat mainly to visit Sabarmati Ashram, Gandhi Ashram. And the name of the dignitary includes Queen Elizabeth II, King of Jordan, Nelson Mandela, and Sri Lanka's former Prime Minister, Premadasa. The world has recognized and accepted the thoughts and ideology of Mahatma Gandhi, and hence we may see that many global leaders visit Gandhi Ashram. The cavalcade is just crossing Sabarmati Riverfront Road. Will go towards the airport square, and from there on will go to the Motera Stadium. The distance is about 17 kilometers from the Gandhi Ashram. And en route we can see some of the classical dance performance, the folk dance performance by the Indian artist. Thousands of people standing on the both sides of the road to have a glimpse of the beloved lover stadium. The Motera Stadium, Ahmedabad, came into being in 1982 and became witness to many milestones of Indian cricket. It was here that cricket legend Sunil Gavaskar completed 10,000 runs in Test cricket. The stadium can accommodate 110,000 people. And as we can see, the cavalcade of Prime Minister is moving towards Motera Stadium. Transforming Motera Stadium into the world's biggest cricket stadium was the brainchild of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The new stadium has many world-class facilities, including a clubhouse with 55 rooms, 76 corporate boxes, a gymnasium, an Olympic-sized swimming pool. The US President is now moving towards Hanuman Camp. The newly built Motera Stadium is spread across 63 acres and can accommodate, as I told you, 110,000 spectators at a time. And it is also a green stadium committed to a sustainable use of electricity and water. Peoples are waving hand as the President carcass moving towards the Motera Stadium. Ever since the Motera Stadium was announced, much of the focus has been on its size. But there are more reasons why this magnificent stadium stands out. This is India's first green-rated cricket stadium, and it has been awarded by Indian Green Building Council a gold rating. Well, a stadium of this size requires two things in huge quantity. One is the power, electricity for lighting, and the second is water to keep the field green. And on both these fronts, the stadium is highly sustainable. As soon as both the leaders will reach Motera Stadium, we'll see that a huge crowd will be welcoming them. A special cultural program is also organized at Motera Stadium. More than 1 lakh people have been waiting for both the leaders to arrive at Motera Stadium here. And around the same number of crowd you can see outside the stadium on the roadshow route. The sounds of drum beat and the folk music is quite evident here. The people carrying flags of India and United States of America. But in spite of scorching heat, we can see the people have lined up here. The big hoardings and posters can be seen at various strategic locations in Ahmedabad, welcoming US President Donald Trump in the city. The President cavalcade has now reached the cantonment area, and from onward it will reach to the Motera Stadium via Airport Square. And as you can see, the number of crowd, the people on the roads here. Managing such a crowd is a daunting task for the authorities here, but obviously we can see on the screen here the authorities have done their job quite well. While going towards Motera Stadium, we may see some of the dance performances on both the sides of the road here. A different state. For example, Uttar Pradesh is presenting the Mayur dance. This is a folk dance from the region of Uttar Pradesh. The Mayur dance or the peacock dance originates from the legend wherein Lord Krishna appeared in the guise of peacock to dance with its beloved Radha. The state of Delhi is presenting the Kathak dance. Kathak is one of the most elegant dance form of India, revolves around the concept of storytelling. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the visit of foreign dignitaries was not just confined to the national capital Delhi but was taken to other states as well. The cavalcade has reached the airport circle and from now it will move towards Indira Circle. Big hoardings and cutaways placed at a strategic location, as I told you, to welcome President Donald Trump. The friendship between both the countries is quite evident here. Various dignitaries have already reached Motera Stadium, and now both the leaders will reach soon. So talking about the Motera Stadium, he was discussing the Motera Stadium is a complete sustainable structure and it's known as a green building. It has got the rainwater harvesting capacity of over 30 lakh litre per day. And tons of construction waste was put to use, not disposed of, at a landfill. The commitment to sustainability makes the stadium a model for others to emulate here. And as we can see, the cavalcade has reached, the President cavalcade has reached the President, the airport circle. US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania is traveling in a specially modified car for President. The car is also known as the Beast and is considered to be as the safest car across the world. Enthusiasm among the people is quite evident on the streets. Now all the eyes set on both the leaders as what they're going to speak at the Motera Stadium here. Howdy Modi program in Houston was such a big hit. And after that, when both the leaders are meeting in India, in Ahmedabad, the world is looking at both the leaders here. The cavalcade has reached Indira Circle. Both the leaders have met on various platforms here, on various multilateral meetings and conferences. And each time, both the leaders share a special bond, a bond of friendship. Namaste Trump. This is the banner you can see at various corners in Ahmedabad city. Well, Ahmedabad is known for its trading community. And in today's Namaste Trump program, we may see nearly 5,000 to 7,000 businessmen and leaders will join the meeting. The cavalcade is now reaching at Indira Circle. There won't be any formal signing of agreement in Ahmedabad, but obviously, as both the leaders refer themselves as a friend of each other, it will stronger the bond between both the countries here. Nearly 110,000 people waiting for the United States President at the Motera Stadium. The trade between both the countries actually stands at 10% per annum, and both the countries want to increase it. But it's not just a trade, but bilateral relation is equally important for both the countries, and that's the reason on various fronts, at various occasions, we have seen the United States help support India on a global platform. The cavalcade is now reaching at Koteshwar Road. There are various issues and challenges that both the countries are facing. And both these leaders will deliberate upon it and will find a solution. So this is the first leg of the US President Donald Trump to India. From Ahmedabad, the President will go to Agra and then New Delhi. And there's a culture performance we can see on the streets of Ahmedabad here. It's quite a visual treat for the foreign dignitaries. The cavalcade is moving towards Motera Stadium, is at now Koteshwar Road. Well, it's another feather in the cap of Ahmedabad city as they hosted US President Donald Trump. The cavalcade has reached now Ashram Road. US President Donald Trump is accompanied with the delegates, where the Indian side and the US will have a bilateral talk in Delhi. As there are various issues that both the countries share a common goal. As the terrorism and protectionism are the issues on both the countries are quite vocal about. The cavalcade will now reach at Motera Stadium. Motera Stadium is considered the world's biggest cricketing stadium and was a brainchild of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This newly built stadium has world-class facilities including the corporate boxes, gymnasium, Olympic-sized swimming pool and many other facilities. It's spread across 63 acres and can accommodate 110,000 spectators at a time. But it's not just about the size, the stadium is also a green, sustainable structure. And here you can see the cavalcade of President is reaching towards Motera Stadium.
The World Heritage City of Ahmedabad wears a festive look today as spectators on both sides of the road are greeting and cheering both the leaders, President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as we now see Prime Minister Modi's cavalcade nearing the new Motera Stadium.
The cavalcade being greeted by the ship of the desert, colorfully caparisoned camels. What a wonderful sight this is. A spectacle of what India is all about. The Motera Stadium is the venue for the Namaste Trump event. The largest event, the grandest event of its kind anywhere in the world.
Aspiring dreams, inspiring future. The ties between the two nations, India and the United States, are grounded in the common values and shared commitment to democracy. The roar from the Motera Stadium continues to grow and build up in anticipation of both the global leaders arriving within the Motera Stadium in moments from now. Prime Minister Modi had reached Ahmedabad today, over an hour before President Trump did. Prime Minister was present at the airport to welcome the US President. He greeted him with a hug, and in response we did see that in the visitor's diary President Trump wrote, "Thank you, my friend, for this wonderful experience." Adequate security arrangements have been made throughout the route. And the idea also is that the spectators on both sides of the road can get a glimpse of their beloved leaders and also of the cultural diversity and heritage on display. Robust relations, democratic traditions. The United States of America is the world's oldest democracy, and India its largest. absolutely in sync, the majestic camels. Reminds me of the border security force. It's almost become a symbol of them. That's the first recall we have. And not only in security, you've got the Gujarat police, you've got the central paramilitary forces, other security agencies, all trying to ensure that there is no untoward incident, but most importantly, that everyone in attendance enjoys this festival and welcomes the visitor with joy. The Motera Stadium was established in 1982, and a lot of records also have happened at the stadium. Sunil Gavaskar completed 10,000 runs in Test cricket in 86-87. Kapil Dev scalped his 432nd wicket in Test to surpass Sir Richard Hadley's record, thus becoming the highest wicket taker in Test cricket at that time. And just lean 2011 World Cup, which India won. En route in the quarterfinals, we played the all-important match against the Aussies on the Motera ground.
And what a spectacle that was. What a memory.
Sachin Tendulkar. Can you name any ground on which Sachin does not have a record?
I don't think there is any such ground in the world. But at the moment, this ground, this stadium, chock-a-block with people from all across Gujarat and indeed across the country. They have come here to witness this spectacle, this mega event, the largest event of its kind anywhere in the world. Namaste Trump. And we've been hearing cheers emanating from the stadium from early in the morning when people started trickling in from 7:30 or 8 in the morning. It's a very bright sunny day. But the enthusiasm of the people to be part of history. These are great moments in histories of nations. And these are people from across the 33 districts of Gujarat.
And the canopy that you see there, it's a specialized 30-meter wide roof canopy over the entire stadium. People might have come since morning, but their joy, energy is only increasing with time. Young children, students, youth, artists, they're all gathered here. Arts, culture, sports, cinema, music, folk dances, all of this is the soft power of a nation. And today, we are having an amazing experience of the soft power of India.
And these are people from all walks of life, students, businessmen, office goers, the young, the old, and especially the children who always get most enthusiastic.
Let's see this video and know more about how both the world leaders, President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, are so popular in social media and especially on Twitter.
They are the leaders of the world's largest and oldest democracies. They draw enormous crowds at their rallies and other public events. They both rose to power as leaders of the masses. And they will have a lot to talk about when President Donald Trump